Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 between TLO and Huk, and this is going to be the continuation of the MLG Day 3 series between these two epic players, and it is once again going to be a Zerg versus Protoss. What an awesome game, what an awesome display of Zerg prowess and swarm potential from our fan favorite player, TheLittleOne, in the last game. If you guys haven't seen it yet, definitely go check it out. And yeah, it was a really good game, but what the, oh, TLO here is gonna be going for a 6 pool. I was gonna say, what is he doing with his larva? They were just kind of chilling there, not producing anything, and then I saw the drone pull off the mineral and become a spawning pool, and TheLittleOne here is going to be opening up this game with extreme aggression. And what a peculiar map to choose to go for a 6 pool. I mean, you know, 6 pool is a pretty, I mean, it's a good opening, but honestly, why on Lost Temple, especially considering their spawn positions? It is once again a 4-player map, so you have to scout right away to find where your opponent is, and TLO is not going to be happy to see that Huk has spawned in the most furthest position possible, all the way up at the 12 o'clock, and oh man, TLO's 6 pool here might not work out as intended. Here comes the 3 larvae, the 3 eggs, morphing all into 6 zerglings, and what is Huk doing? Oh my goodness, Huk here is saving up his resources. Is he going for some kind of 15 nexus, 14 nexus? What the heck is he doing? He still doesn't have a gateway. He's at 15 supply. His probe now just coming in, sees the 6 zerglings on the way, and oh my goodness, Huk now needs to throw up buildings immediately, and he quickly throws down 2 gateways, but there is an opening between these 2 gateways. I'm wondering why he put those buildings like that. He's going to have to pull probes off the line if he wants to hold off these 6 zerglings, which are quickly swarming their way across the center of Lost Temple. And oh no, TheLittleOne here could do a lot of damage. Looks like there's even going to be a drone in the party as well. The 6 zerglings come right by the probes, and Huk, does he realize that there's an opening between these 2 gateways? Oh my goodness, the zerglings make their way through. Huk, what is Huk doing? He makes a huge blunder with his position of his gateway units, and now the pylon powering the gateways could possibly go down. All the probes coming off the line here, and Huk in a desperate situation. Keep in mind, TLO has to kill as many probes as possible because Huk right now still has 15 over 7 harvesters. It looks like he picks off several probes in that exchange, and now the pylon, one of the pylons could go down. Looks like Huk wisely throwing up a second pylon, and it looks like the harvester count currently 11 to 7. Huk here still in a world of trouble. He is not mining any resources whatsoever, and TLO is continuing to stream in the zerglings. Looks like 1 zealot makes it out, and that zealot will be able to secure and fasten the front door for now. But TLO will not be able to bust through. Huk is going to need an additional zealot to clean off the zerglings and drones. Oh, but it looks like the probes make a fight for their own, stand for their own rights, and kill off the 2 zerglings and this last drone at 1 HP. It looks like right now the harvester count 10 to 7. I think Huk will be able to hold the front door now. TheLittleOne's 6 pool attack not working out as intended, and now he's gonna have to come up with some kind of a plan B. He needs a transition out of this. It looks like he's going to try to get a queen out, and he may have, yeah, he's going to start to drone up. He's making 2 drones right now, and TheLittleOne now realizing that, man, I am behind. I need to make something happen, and it looks like he's just going to transition into a standard game, but he is behind by quite a few harvesters at this point. And it's kind of interesting. Oh, looks like Huk is going to be pushing out with his zealots. Oh no, what is Huk doing? His zealots are going to get surrounded. I don't know if you realized how many zerglings are out there, but all the zealots are going to go down. And oh my goodness, one more gap for the zerglings to make their way through. And now the probes once again in a battle, in a flurry to save their own lives. And it looks like the zerglings are going to make their way into the probe line. Going to start to focus on the probes with the lowest HP first. Current harvester count dead even and tied. Now it looks like TheLittleOne's starting to pull ahead, and that's all because of Huk's blunder by not leaving the zealots at the choke point. Perhaps Huk decided, you know, I'm going to try to poke out a little bit and take a gander, but that really was his undoing. And now it looks like it's a huge difference in favor of TLO, 15 over 11. Huk realizing that, pushing out with his 2 zealots to try to make something happen, and TLO meanwhile still has a zergling primarily for scouting purposes, just chilling inside of Huk's base. It's a little interesting that TLO decided to go for this 6-pool aggression on this game, considering, like I said, it is Lost Temple. It's a 4-player map, long rush distances, especially since they spawned across from each other. But perhaps because TLO won the first game, you know, you can kind of afford to go for a cheesy build the second game and try to throw your opponent off guard. And it looks like it's paid off thus far. Both players relatively even. Huk now coming in with his 2 Zealots to try to make a counterattack, but with TLO's Queen and the Zerglings here, I think these Zealots are going to be dispatched of fairly easily. Yeah, this last Zealot trying to get a position inside the choke. And it looks like, meanwhile, the Zergling inside of Huk's base was taken care of as well. So, you know, it's almost as if the two players have reset positions completely, and it's almost like the game is completely balanced at this point. Both the Zerg player, the little one, going for this aggressive 6-pull, really didn't have the economy, but he was able to kill off several probes, and so the matchup is essentially tied right now, thanks in part to Huk and his poor placement of his gateways. I really feel like if he wanted to, he could have walled off with 2 gates and perhaps some probes just to help out. But instead, Huk allowed his front doors to be breached, and he lost several probes as a result. Now, what is going to be the transition from this point forward? It looks like the little one is going to start to work down these golden rocks, and perhaps he's going to have the same strategy like he did last game. Try to go for mass expansions and just try to out macro Huk. It seemed to work out quite well in Metalopolis in the last game, and perhaps it's going to work out again. I wonder what these overlords are doing. They're just kind of chilling there. But the little one really needs to get on spreading his overlords. It looks like, yeah, he is going to be going for a gold expansion. And meanwhile, it looks like Huk here is going to be going for a timing attack with +1 weapon and warp gate on the way. Look for Huk to throw down a 3rd, potentially 4th gateway, or possibly go for a Twilight Council after the 3rd gate, or, you know, Huk could even go for a Nexus. The possibilities for the Protoss player are quite endless. It looks like TLO will be securing the natural expansion at the gold. And, well, I guess you would call that the gold expansion. But the important thing for TLO right now is he has to scout, and indeed he is using his Overlord to move right in range of the Protoss base. He sees the Forge ticking away, he sees the Cybernetics core, so he sees everything he needs to know right now, and he knows he has a window right now to attack, and he moved in with his Zerglings, but unfortunately for him, Huk with a wisely placed cannon to hold off the Speedlings, and it looks like TLO will just fall back to pick off the probes and continue to retain map control. Now, the question is, oh, TLO going for a Baneling's Nest. He sees that Huk is going for this timing pressure window with the Forge and the Cybernetics core, so he's going to try to bust through with a Baneling's Nest. Meanwhile, oh, he also forces the cancel on the Nexus. In fact, did Huk get the cancel off? Yes, he did. Huk retaining his 400 minerals, and it looks like right there, Huk decided to go for the expansion. I guess he decided to switch up his game plan because TLO has now scouted the Forge and the Cybernetics core, so he really cannot attack, and because TLO will be prepared. So Huk instead tried to trick once again. You guys can see this is all about mind games. Once the scouts saw the Forge and the Cyber core, Huk deciding to go for the Nexus instead, but in counterattack, TLO forced the cancel, and now the ball's in Huk's court. What's he gonna do? He is once again gonna go for the Nexus rather than going for an all-out 4-gate pressure, and it looks like his 2 Stalkers here left in the open, gonna get picked off by the Speedlings. Very nice maneuver right there from TLO.